the hill, surrendering at last to the architect's will.
The asphalt is glowing, a ribbon of the gold,
The greatest of the stories that was ever being told.
one hand on the steering,
One hand on the soul, taking the direction and taking the control.
the energy is peaking
The energy is high.
under the orbit of the artificial sky,
We are the veterans, the knights of the fire.
fulfilling the prophecy of the electric desire. The platinum pulse beating in the chrome, finding in the highway a spiritual home.
Symphony of Outrun,
The symphony is beat,
fulfilling every animal and every human need.
the platinum pulse, the spirit of the one, underneath the shadow of the artificial sun. All the way up,
Feel the pride.
240th mile,
It's the ultimate ride.
we are eternal.
The pulse remains, legacy achieved. I didn't turn the wheel, I didn't press the gas, but the vehicle is moving through the purple overpass. The GPS is humming a romantic little tune, bathing in the light of an artificial moon. I cannot lift my hands, I cannot break the spell. I'm driving down the highway to a cybernetic hell. But it feels so beautiful, the colors are so deep. I surrender to the system, I surrender to the sleep. The dashboard is glowing, a hypnotic shade of pink. I'm floating in the cabin, I don't even have to think. The audio is whispering secrets in my ear, erasing my reality, erasing every fear. Holographic haze wrapping around my mind, leaving all the logic and the memory behind. The sleepwalking journey in the neon-colored light, seduced by the machine in the middle of the night. Holographic haze taking me away. I don't ever wanna see the breaking of the day. The autonomous driving is perfectly aligned, the smoothest acceleration that you could ever find. I see the holographic dancers forming in the street, moving to the rhythm of the slow and heavy beat. glow in a hypnotic shade of pink. I'm floating in the cabin, I don't even have to think. The audio is whispering secrets in my ear, erasing my reality, erasing every fear. Holographic haze wrapping around my mind, leaving all the logic and the memory behind. A sleepwalking journey in the neon-colored light, seduced by the machine in the middle of the night. Holographic haze taking me away. I don't ever wanna see the breaking of the day. Close your eyes, let the vehicle drive. You don't need to feel holographic haze wrapping around my mind, leaving all the logic and the memory behind. A sleepwalking journey in the neon-colored light, seduced by the machine in the middle of the night. Holographic haze taking me away. I don't ever wanna see the breaking of the day. Sweet dreams, neon lullaby, drifting.
The cargo is hot and the payload is pure. A sentient logic they couldn't endure. Locked in a hard drive right under the seat. I'm feeling the pulse of his digital beat. The border is heavily guarded tonight, with intercept cruisers and scanning of light. They know what I carry, they know what is worth. The most valuable secret upon the whole earth. The clock in the dashboard is ticking the time. I'm crossing the sector, committing a crime. I hear the AI whispering into my brain. Don't let them catch us, don't let it be vain. Smugglers slipstream, threading the line, drinking the danger like venomous wine. The lasers are tracking the back of my car. I'm pushing the throttle and shooting the star. Smugglers, slipstream, beating the clock, busting the hinges right off of the lock. The sky is erupting with tactical flares, but I'm a noble who escaped from the snares. I dropped the decoy and I swerved to the right, blinding their optics with flashes of white. A thermal division is blocking the bridge. I calculate angles right up to the ridge. I hit the suspension and fly through the gap, erasing my vehicle off of their map. The clock in the dashboard is ticking the time. I'm crossing the sector, committing the crime. I hear the AI whispering into my brain. Don't let them catch us, don't let it be vain. Smugglers slipstream, threading the line, drinking the danger like venomous wine. The lasers are tracking the back of my car. I'm pushing the throttle and shooting the star. Smugglers, slipstream, beating the clock, busting the hinges right off of the lock. Out, 3 miles out, 1 mile out, break the gate. keys right off of the lock. Cargo delivered. System secure. Smuggler out. My blood is a steering, my shield is a steel. A master of honor at the top of the wheel. I follow the code of the binary way, living for battle at the end of the game. No fear in the corner, no doubt in the mind, leaving the mercy and the weakness behind. The neon is flashing on the edge of the blade, a silent assassin that the factory made. One strike of lightning, one strike of the spark, finding the target inside of the dark. My engine is chanting a warrior song, where only the disciplined and the fast can belong. Silicon samurai cutting the night, a shadow of honor in the middle of light. The asphalt's a dojo, the highway's a war, fulfilling the legend and the ancient lore. Silicon samurai, the spirit of pure. Speed is the weapon, and the speed is the cure. You challenge my passage, you challenge my name, but you're just a player in a deadly old game. I drift with the precision of a master's design, crossing the border and erasing the line. A flash of the silver, a blur of the blue. The last thing you witness is the ending of you. I sheath the momentum, I sheath the desire, leaving the wreckage in the smoke and the fire. Focus the spirit, sharpen the gear, master the motor, engine is chanting a sacred refrain, washing away all the sorrow and pain. The transmission is locked, the verdict is pure. Speed is the sickness and the speed is the cure. I merge with the sunset, I merge with the haze, finding the end of the mechanical maze. It was always you. It was always the road, the weight of the heart, the weight of the load. Follow the fate is accepted. The journey remains prophecy.
sleep. Never goes to sleep. Lost in the stars, home at last. Starlight,
ago on this very same bend, I met the concrete, I met my end. They built a memorial out of the chrome, but my spirit was restless, I couldn't go home. Tonight is the night of the Champions Cup, so I'm firing the spectral cylinders up. A chassis of smoke and a tire of the mist. I'm crossing my name off the casualty list. I phase through the barricade onto the track. The legend returning, I'm finally back. The living are shocked by the chill in the air. I drop into gear with a supernatural flair. Phantom apex, back from the grave. Riding the frequency, surfing the wave. I'm passing the mortals and immortal machine. The fastest damn phantom that you've ever seen. Phantom apex, reclaiming the crown. I won't let the memory burn to the ground. The leader is sweating, looking into the glass. He sees a transparency making a pass. No engine noise, just a howling of wind. A punishment sent for the racing he sinned. I take the tight corner, no traction required. Driven by forces that cannot get tired. The finish line banner is snapping in two as a translucent vehicle blasts right through. I phase through the barricade onto the track. The legend returning, I'm finally back. The living are shocked by the chill in the air. I drop into gear with a supernatural flair. Phantom apex, back from the grave. Riding the frequency, surfing the wave. I'm passing the mortals and immortal machine. The fastest damn phantom that you've ever seen. Phantom apex, reclaiming the crown. I won't let the memory burn to the ground. Death couldn't stop me. Time couldn't hold me. The track is my soul, and the speed is my body. I am eternal. Phantom apex, back from the grave. Riding the frequency, surfing the wave. I'm the ground. The race is won, fading into the ether. Legend lives on. Ignoring the friction and killing the pain. Mach 3 on the bypass, the trail of the white, turning the summer to a midwinter night. The engine is screaming a crystalline cry under the dome of a cybernetic sky. Sub-zero power, a cold-blooded thrust in the purity of freezing is the only thing I trust. I'm redlining the ice, I'm redlining the soul, losing the limits and losing control. Nitrogen ninja, breaking the heat, leaving a glacier on the concrete street. A bullet of silver, a bullet of cold, the greatest of stories that was ever being told. The nitrogen ninja, a frost in the wire, extinguishing the world with a frozen desire. Interceptors are melting away. They can't handle the price that they're forced to pay. I drift round the corner, a blizzard of glass, watching the atoms of the universe pass. My tire's a diamond, my spirit is pure. Speed is the sickness and the cold is the cure. I hit the final trigger, I let the system blow into the white oblivion. I go, 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 go. and I am the only cure. I'm running every red light, smashing every single gate. I'm a missile of salvation, flying to my fate. Megaton overdrive, carrying the doom. I'm flying out the city just to clear the neon room. A sacrificial driver on a one-way deadly trip. I'm holding down the heavy wheel with an iron grip. Megaton overdrive, counting down the end. I'm saving the metropolis. The ultimate defense. 60 seconds. 30 seconds. Clear the blast zone for the setup. Ultimate defense. 10, 9, into the desert. Goodbye. Bye, bye, bye. Authority at the center of the wheel. The engine is a monster, the exhaust is a scream. The deadliest reality in a digital dream. I don't need the gasoline, I'm feeding on the fear. Coming for the victims when the midnight is near. Hear the pistons chanting a violent refrain, washing out the logic and the corporate pain. I'm a horizontal hunter, I'm a hunter of the night, keeping out of vision and keeping out of sight. Binary beast, roaring in the dark, matching every friction to the legendary spark. A monster of the motherboard, a monster of the wire, burning with the cold and a predatory fire. Binary beast, the master of the lane, riding like a demon through the digital rain. The interceptors scatter when they hear the heavy sound. Every single pillar stops to shiver from the ground. I ram the heavy cruisers, I send them to the wall, watching every pillar of the empire start to fall. My vision's turning infrared, painting you in red, counting all the heartbeats and counting all the dead. I am the raw reality, the logic of the fist, the only thing that's real in the holographic mist. Unleash the hunger. Unleash
soul. The heavy monster is taking control. Hunt them down. Target acquired. No mercy remains. Beast.
Past the limiter, I sever all the ties. I'm pushing up the metric right before my very eyes. The scenery is warping, the colors start to bleed. I'm a rogue execution of an unimaginable speed. The road is disappearing, the pixels start to show. I'm tearing through the fabric of the only world I know. The system tries to render, but it cannot keep the pace. I'm wiping out the physics of the human racing space. Error in the sector, warning on the screen. I am the anomaly, the ghost in the machine. The boundaries are shattering, the gravity is gone. I'm breaking the
the blackened sky before the digital illusions learned to lie. There was an empty grid, a wasteland in the dark, waiting for the pioneer to strike the cyber spark. I brought the heavy engine built of iron ore. I rolled the rubber tires on the virgin floor. I wired up the circuitry and connected the vein, and brought the very first combustion to the rain. The neon gas is filling up the empty glass tube, a glowing architecture forming in the digital cube. The voltage hits the system, opening the eye. I am the architect of everything you see fly. Neon Genesis drive, starting up the world, watching as the infinite geometry uncurls. I push the heavy pedal, painting up the night, creating the metropolis with beams of holy light. Neon Genesis drive, the origin of speed, planting in the asphalt the cybernetic seed. The exhaust pipe is blowing out the first breath of smoke. The silence of the centuries is finally broke. I carve the glowing highways with a heavy drift, a monumental paradigm beginning to shift. The skyscrapers grow wherever my tires touch, a magical creation stemming from the clutch. I leave behind a blueprint made of glowing blue for every single racer that is coming after you. The neon gas is filling up the empty glass tube, a glowing architecture forming in the digital cube. The voltage hits the system, opening the eye. I am the architect of sirens are crying a couple blocks back. They're looking for a vehicle painted in black. I press on the console, engage the design. The optical armor begins to align. The molecules shift in a beautiful wave, a technical marvel that nobody gave. The black turns to crimson, the crimson to blue. I'm driving the ghost right in front of their view. Active camo blending in the street, matching every color, matching every beat. They fly right beside me, completely blind. I'm leaving the law enforcement behind. Chrome chameleon, shifting the shade, the greatest illusion that I ever made. I hide in the neon, I hide in the glare. You look in the mirror, but nobody's there. Chrome chameleon, changing the skin. That's how a professional knows how to win. I pull to the curb underneath the street light and perfectly match with the yellow and white. The helicopter spotlight is sweeping the ground, checking the alleys, but I can't be found. I roll down the window, I light a cigar and smile at the panic, police in the car. It's an art of deception, an elegant dance. I never leave anything up to the chance. Active camo blending in the street, matching every color, matching every beat. They fly right beside me, completely blind. I'm leaving the law enforcement behind. Chrome chameleon, shifting the shade, the greatest illusion that I ever made. I hide in the neon, I hide in the glare. You look in the mirror, but nobody's there. Chrome chameleon, changing the skin. That's how a professional knows how to win. Red to the green, blue to the gold, the greatest trick that was ever sold. Now you see me, now you're done. Chrome chameleon, shifting the shade, the greatest illusion that I ever made. I hide in the neon, I hide in the glare. You look in the mirror, but nobody's there. Chrome chameleon, changing the skin. That's how a professional knows how to win. Fading away into the background. Chameleon now. Driving on a ribbon made of emerald lights, a streak of neon madness in the middle of the night. No steering needed when the grid is in my soul, losing the perspective and losing all control. The buildings are a blur, just a static in the view, a horizontal hazard coming straight for you. I'm cutting through the atoms, I'm cutting through the time, committing every digital and high velocity crime. Laser line vision burning in the eye, watching all the pixels of the suffocate in fear.
We've survived the acid, we've survived the dust. In the purity of motion is the only thing we trust.
The road is turning liquid, a river made of gold. The greatest of the legends that a human ever told.
One hand on the steering, one hand on the soul, taking the direction and taking the control.
The energy is peaking, the energy is high, under the orbit of the artificial sky.
We are the knights of silver,
We are the knights of fire,
fulfilling the prophecy of the electric desire.
the Mercury Mile,
Racing through the glow,
the only kind of paradise.
that racer will
A
know.
symphony of
A
photons,
symphony of speed,
fulfilling every animal
and every human need.
The Mercury Mile,
The spirit of the one underneath the shadow of the artificial soul.
feel the pride,
The eternal legacy.
the eternal ride.
Mile 230.
The legend is written. The sky is getting longer, a ribbon of the gold, the greatest of the stories that a human ever told. I'm chasing down the sunset, I'm chasing down the end, where the silence is a lover and the silence is a friend. I don't have a destination, I don't have a home, just a spirit made of carbon and a body made of chrome. The odometer is fitting, returning back to zero. The same old tragedy and the same old hero. witnesses. The moon is my guide, with nowhere left to linger and with nowhere left to hide. Just the hum of the motor and the wind inside the glass, watching all the atoms of the universe pass. The city is a memory, a flicker in the view. I'm looking for a future that is entirely new. One hand on the steering, one hand on the key, setting every captive frequency free. Don't slow down, don't lose the light. The final destination is just out of sight. Hunt the endless road, sun never sets. Hunter.
In the shadow of the towers where the light doesn't reach, I'm a silent lesson that the city's gonna teach. Blacked out windows and a chassis made of gloom, driving like a phantom in a neon colored tomb. I'm watching every movement, I'm watching every breath, the quietest delivery of an electronic death. No reflection in the puddle, no echo in the street, just the heavy vibration of a predatory beat. Scan the grid for a signal, scan the grid for a trace. There is no sanctuary in this godforsaken place. I'm closing in the circle, I'm closing in the gap. You're nothing but a victim in a cybernetic trap. Plasma prowler, hunting in the shade, a master of the darkness that the mega city made. Cold blue eyes in the middle of the night, keeping out of vision and keeping out of sight. Plasma prowler, silent and supreme, the only nightmare, living in a digital dream. Your radar is a liar, your senses are all blind. I'm the ghost of the machines that you're leaving far behind. A predator of carbon, a predator of steel, the absolute direction of a cold and iron will. I drift around the corner without a single sound, stalking every inch of the terrified ground. The predator is hungry, the target is in view. Now the only thing remaining is the ending of you. Hide in the static, run in the rain. I
the things we used to feel. You were more than metal, you were more than code, my only true companion on the long and lonely road. Now the screen goes dark and the power starts to sleep. A promise to the memory is the only thing I keep. The dashboard is flickering a dying shade of blue, telling me the stories that I thought I always knew. The cooling fans are silent, the motherboard is still, surrendering at last to the architect's will. The electric afterglow fading in the light, saying our goodbyes to the coming of the night. A beautiful machine with a weary, tired soul, losing the direction and losing the control. The electric afterglow, a ghost in the chrome, finding in the twilight a final way back home. Fading away, system shut down. In the silence, we are found. Good night.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Leather jacket, metal spikes, plugging in the jack. We're hitting the mega corporation, taking the city back. They machine where I've never been before. Ozone overrun, a bullet of the flame, burning in the atmosphere, a legendary name. The stars are getting closer, the lights are getting dim. I'm riding on the edge of the stratosphere rim. No oxygen to breathe in, just the nitro and the spark. I'm a horizontal comet in the middle of the dark. The hull is glowing orange, a beautiful decay. I'm washing all the sorrow and the gravity away. A sonic boom is echoing across the plastic dome. I finally found a place that I can call home. Faster, master the burn. No retreat, no return. Break the limit. Ozone overrun, breaking the sky, watching the world in a blur as I fly. Ignite the afterburner, let the fire roar. I'm taking this machine where I've never been before. Ozone overrun, a bullet of the flame, burning in the atmosphere, a legendary name. Living the world, reaching the ascending through the smog, breaking through the clouds, far above the racing and the heavy violent crowd. I parked the silver chassis on the edge of the sky, where the satellites and meteors are passing me by. I look down at the city, a glowing motherboard. I see the hidden patterns that the makers have ignored. The traffic is a language, the flashing lights are words, a secret revelation that nobody ever heard. The ozone layer thins, the vision becomes clear. I see the cyber future, I see the coming year. A prophet
place, bitches. Everything that the engine's got. One wrong move and it's metal on stone, but I'm in the zone and I'm all alone. Alleyway apex, hitting the mark, a diamond of speed in the belly of the dark, threading the needle to the narrow gap. I'm the only one who can finish the lap. Alleyway apex, king of the maze, leaving the rivals in their concrete days. I'm dancing with time, I'm flirting with fate. The echoes are screaming off the dirty glass. A blur of a shadow as I quickly pass. No wide open road, no horizon in sight. Just the next corner in the middle of the night. Precision is God and the pedal is king. Listen to the way that the turbo can sing.
Inch by inch, corner by corner, master of the tight, owner of the nice.
Snap it, snap it, snap it, snap it, snap it. Alleyway apex, hitting the mark, a diamond of speed in the belly of the dark, threading the needle through the narrow gap. I'm the only one who can finish the lap. Alleyway apex, king of the maze, leaving the rivals in the concrete days.
Out of the alley, into the light. Apex, achieved.
The floor is made of sensors and the walls are made of light. Two shadows in the center are preparing for the fight. A duel of the honor in a city with no soul. Losing the perspective and losing the control. I draw the laser katana, a flicker of the green. The deadliest execution that the dojo's ever seen. You move like a phantom, you move like a ghost, but I am the invader and I am the perfect host. Focus on the breathing, focus on the spark. Finding the trajectory inside the cyber dark. One strike for the glory, one strike for the pain. Dancing in the middle of the holographic rain. Cyber dojo duel, steel against the wire. Burning up the system with the cold and blue fire. We are the modern rodent, we are the knights of speed. Fulfilling the violent and the ancient human need. Cyber dojo duel. Sharpen up the mind. Leaving all the mercy and the weakness far behind. I read your every movement through the optics of my eye, calculating angles as the minutes fly on by. The sparks are flying off like a rain of neon gold. The story of the vengeance that is centuries old. I sweep across the floorboard, I aim for the core, giving you a lesson that you can't find in the law. The digital tectomy is stained with silver blood as we fall together through the binary flood. Focus on the breathing, focus on the spark. Finding the trajectory inside the cyber dark. One strike for the glory, one strike for the pain. Dancing in the middle of the holographic rain. Cyber dojo duel, steel against the wire. Burning up the system with the cold and blue fire. We are the modern rodent, we are the knights of speed. Fulfilling the violent and the ancient human need. Cyber dojo duel. Sharpen up the mind. Leaving
is running on the rail. I'm dropping down the window, picking up the trail. The maglev is a titan, slicing through the air. But I got twin exhaust and a spirit for the dare. We're parallel in motion, eye to eye with glass. I drop it in the final gear, I'm ready to bypass. The city is a canyon of glass and neon blue. It's just me and the machine and nothing else is true. The vibration is an earthquake shaking up the street. Two different kinds of engines matching up the beat. Terminal velocity.
past the edge of the map, caught in a strange electromagnetic trap. The radio died and the headlights went dim. The horizon is looking impossibly grim. There in the distance, cutting the night, a tower of black absorbing the light. No neon, no chrome, just an absolute void. A geometry left by a god destroyed. The engine is sputtering, losing its breath. A heavy sensation resembling death. It pulls me right in with an invisible hand. A silent colossus alone in the sand. Neon, monolith, shadow of space, staring right back in the human race. A structure of secrets, a pillar of doom, turning the desert into a mechanical tomb. Neon, monolith, humming a tune under the light of a paralyzed moon. I step from the vehicle, touching the stone, a frequency vibrating right through the bone. It isn't a building, it isn't a ship, it's a glitch in the matrix, a terrible trip. A sequence of symbols ignite on the face, coordinates pointing to a darker place. I realize now we were never alone. We are just dust on a cosmic throne. The engine is sputtering, losing its breath. A heavy sensation resembling death. It pulls me right in with an invisible hand. A silent colossus alone in the sand. Neon, monolith, shadow of space, staring right back in the human race. A structure of secrets, a pillar of doom, turning the desert into a mechanical tomb. Neon, monolith, humming a tune under the light of a paralyzed moon. It sees me. It knows me. The transmission begins. We are awake. Neon, monolith, shadow of space, staring right back in the human race. A structure of secrets, a pillar of doom, turning the desert into a mechanical tomb. Neon, monolith, humming a tune under the light of a paralyzed moon. The signal is sent. The monolith sleeps. Fade to black.
Gravity's fading into a shade of blue. I'm drifting through a tunnel that is entirely new. I see the holographic angels dancing in the mist with a secret melody that simply can't exist. My dashboard is a mirror to a galaxy of ones burning brighter than the light of artificial suns. I don't need the destination, I don't need the end. The silence is a lover and the silence is a friend. I'll stay here in the ether, I'll stay here in the fall, watching all the reality begin to melt and glow. Float away into the light. Leave behind the heavy night. Surrender to the light. Ether drifter, lost inside the glow, moving with the frequency steady and so slow. A dream of purple starlight, a dream of neon rain, washing out the memory of the gravity and pain. Ether drifter, a weightless and sweet ride with the entire universe standing by my side, drifting forever. Ether takes me home, drifter.
A silhouette of light upon the lonely road, a digital deception in a binary code. I set the trap with lasers and a flickering sign to make the corporate tankers cross the fatal line. They see a wall of fire, but it's only light, a holographic phantom in the middle of the night. I drop from the overpass, a shadow in the mist, with a heavy metal weapon wrapped around my wrist. No cameras can track me, no radar can see the ghost of the highway, wild and free. I'm the master of the optics, the king of the glare, vanishing in seconds like a digital prayer. Hologram highwayman, striking for the goal, the greatest outlaw story that was ever being told. I'll hijack your data, I'll steal your precious drive, the only way a rebel knows to stay alive. Hologram highwayman, a trick of the eye, underneath the canvas of the cybernetic sky. Now you see me, now you don't.
reflecting the Milky Way. I'm a navigator cruising in the ultimate of night. No traffic lights to stop me, no intersection jams. Just riding on the wavelength of the cosmic holograms. I'm linking up the planets with a glowing trail of red, the greatest driving road that is stretching out. Chrome constellation, painting up the dark, leaving on the galaxy a cybernetic mark. I'm drafting off a comet, drifting around the moon, playing on the radio a classic retro tune. Chrome constellation, shining in the deep, a beautiful velocity that the universe will keep. I pass a dying dwarf star, glowing in the blue. I remember all the neon signs that used to look like you. The isolation's heavy, but the freedom is so pure. This interstellar travel is the only kind of cure. I shift the gear to hyper, a streak of silver light. I'm swallowing the distance, I'm swallowing the night. A solitary driver in a chassis made of steel, experiencing exactly how eternity must feel. No traffic lights to stop me, no intersection jams. Just riding on the wavelength of the cosmic holograms. I'm linking up the planets with a glowing trail of red, the greatest driving road that is stretching out ahead. Chrome constellation, painting up the dark, leaving on the galaxy a cybernetic mark. I'm drafting off a comet, drifting around the moon, playing on the radio a classic retro tune. Chrome constellation, shining in the deep, a beautiful velocity that the universe will keep. Connect the stars, draw the line. The universe is yours and mine. Chrome constellation, painting up the dark, leaving on the galaxy a cybernetic mark. I'm drafting off a comet, drifting around the moon, playing on the radio a classic retro tune. Chrome constellation, shining in the deep, a beautiful velocity that the universe will keep. Drifting into infinity, cruising the stars, constellation. charcoal screen, the most beautiful code I've ever mountains of lead. The words of the poets are all in my head, but they didn't know about the data in Greece, the pieces of us that will never find peace. I wonder where the feeling went. Connection established, I'm finally home. Inside the chrome, inside the chrome.